Hello everybody, welcome to Snyder's Inc. Today, we got that chapter. And, this one's a case that we know of. We know of it. I don't know full details, and that's what that chapter does best. That's what Mike does best. I almost didn't say it. I was like, is his name Mike? I think his name is Mike. And this is, YouTuber faked live stream to cover for horrific crime, Natalie McNally. And we will get right into this, ladies and gentlemen. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, comment your think down below. Let's go.
Hello and welcome. My name is Mike, and in this old video, we have a story of a guy, of a budding online entrepreneur. His content was all about reviews and the like, the TV show Doctor Who. His speciality. I know, right? Which doctor? Nobody seems to know. They're always asking who. I've never watched an episode in my life. I presume that's the plot. There were YouTube videos, toy reviews. Did I mention he's 32 years old? And all.
Why does he just have a Polaroid t-shirt? His t-shirt literally just says Polaroid. Why does he have a Polaroid? I'm sorry, it's just this weird things that bother me. Why does he have a Polaroid t-shirt?
Also podcasts.
Hey, and we're live. Hello, everyone. Yeah, a little bit out of the blue, this, isn't it? But, hang on, my levels are just a nightmare. There we go, bring that down a little bit.
But there's one video in particular I gotta mention at the top. A YouTube live stream that was on December 18th, 2022.
If anyone knows about, like, YouTube lore when it comes to true crime, you know of this guy. You know what the case is. I just never known details, which is why when I saw Mike did it, that chapter did it, I had to watch it. Because I've always just been curious about the full details leading up to it. We'll get right into it. Ladies and gentlemen, I said it like I just restarted. I've already continued. Let's go. Let's just go. My brain's working, I swear. My brain's
A Christmas live stream. He was playing Grand Theft Auto Vice City.
Hey, everyone.
What was this?
Just gonna get into this one, trash it that way.
Thing is, this was not live.
Nope.
This was pre-recorded.
Yep.
It was his alibi, something he dropped some very dark hints of in this live stream, because while this was playing, again, live, he was committing a horrific crime against an amazing young woman. And of course, before we get into it, please subscribe to see 2 new crime videos every week, Tuesdays and Fridays. His name, Stephen McCullough. Her name was Natalie McNally. Now let's give it a go.
Let's.
So this story takes us to Northern Ireland, just over the border from myself, if you can believe that, and to the town of Lurgan, County Armagh. Lurgan is about 30 minutes from Belfast City, just off Lough Neagh. Approximately 30,000 people live there, and it has a bit of a history, from the famine to the Troubles. And it's still a divided town between loyalists and nationalists. It's a whole thing. And there, Natalie McNally lived.
These shots are beautiful. Ireland is one of those places I love to visit. I don't know enough about to know if there's a reason I shouldn't, but Ireland is one of those places that, like, if I figure out the right places, I'd love to visit. Most of the UK, really, I'd love to visit.
In 2022, Natalie was 32 years of age, living on the northwest side of Lurgan.
Oh my god.
She had attended Queen's University Belfast, studying the law, before switching things up and studying marketing and marketing management. Which, are they not the same thing? She then went on to work in a number of roles, eventually ending up working for TransLink, public transport across Northern Ireland. As you can imagine, she worked on the marketing side of things, but outside of work, Natalie loved animals. She loved jigsaws, Everton Football Club, and County Armagh Gaelic football. She was also a strong campaigner for equality. In December 2022, Natalie was also 15 weeks pregnant with a baby boy. Christmas, it's generally a quiet time of year. Time, for everybody to get together with their families, to have a nice, lovely time. One of those times of years when you're just thinking, hey, aren't we all just great? So crimes that take place around this time of year tend to be big news, bigger than normal, because, it's the antithesis of what Christmas is supposed to be about. So this story began on December 18th, which was, if you can believe it, the World Cup final day. That evening, Natalie was watching it with her parents in their home in Lurgan.
Bro, that man was nowhere even that was the shittiest goalie attempt I've ever seen.
After Natalie watched the match with her parents, and of course, as you probably remember, not only was it a big one with the extra time and the penalties, Messi's big day, yada yada yada. After watching the match, Natalie, she went home to her home, which was not too far away. Her own house was in Silverwood Green. She lived there alone with her 2 cats and her dog, and this was, around evening time. It was then the next morning, the Monday, that, as we see so often in these cases, no one could get through to Natalie. She didn't show up for work. Her friends and family couldn't contact her, which was quite unusual. Again, she was 15 weeks pregnant, so you worry. And so it was Natalie's boyfriend.
Fair. Once you're 15 weeks. For some reason, the first time I heard months, not weeks. That's why my brain was like, if you saw my brain was trying to figure out something, I was trying to figure out how that works. Weeks. That makes way more sense.
Friend Stephen McCullough of Lisburn, which is a town 20 minutes away, who went into her home that Monday night at around 10 p.m. to see what was going on.
Detectives from the Major Investigation Team have now launched a murder investigation following the death of Natalie McNally in Lurgan. This follows the results of the post-mortem. The 32-year-old died a violent death, having been stabbed a number of times, and there are signs of defensive injuries. She was murdered at her home in the Silverwood Green area of the town, and evidence now suggests that she was murdered on the night of Sunday, the 18th of December.
Stephen and Natalie had been dating for approximately 4 months by December. They struck up their relationship in August, and it seems like they got, Natalie got pregnant pretty quickly, maybe even before the relationship actually properly started. Stephen, 32 years of age, 33 I guess now, but 32 at the time, is /.
Possible. If they've been dating for 4 months, she's 15 weeks pregnant, which is about 3 months and a half. Yeah, almost 4 months, yeah. It's possible.
Was, according to his LinkedIn, which you all know is the least bullshitty website out there, I am a hardworking, focused individual who provides clear and precise narrations for both video and audio purposes, with a unique style which is easy listening, yet exciting.
I picked up both the Luke Skywalker and Obi-Wan versions, and they're easily some of the best collectibles I own. It's great that while they offer the same bells and whistles as the non-detachable blade counterparts, they also have this great broken sound effect which plays if you try to activate them without the blade attached.
I have had much success working for Following the Nerd, some nerd blog, and hosting their weekly radio show. I also create and host videos on my own YouTube channel, which has amassed over 40,000 subscribers. I wish to continue in this vein of work by hosting or
He worked. He got it. He got it. He get 40,000 subscribers ain't bad. Listen, I'm not complaining. He's got a fan base. He's fortunate that the guy running the channel is a heinous human being.
or narrating any projects which you may require spoken audio for. And he had the chops to back all that up. His YouTube channel, VoteSaxon07, catchy name. As I said, it's focused on all types of content. Reviews of Doctor Who, his speciality, but you also got toys, you got robots, beginning every video with...
Hello YouTube viewers and random Doctor Who fans.
Hello YouTube viewers and random Star Wars fans. Hello YouTube viewers and random Doctor Who fans, or hello friendos, I don't know how to introduce these. Hello YouTube viewers and random James Bond fans. Hello YouTube viewers and random DC fans. Hello.
You know what's hilarious is, it's not the worst opening, because you're right, you got YouTube viewers who are watching, like, because they're subscribed to his channel, and then there's just the random other fans who just are watching, so he's nailed it.
Hello friendos. Or should I say hello YouTube viewers and random Toy Story fans.
I mean, it's no, hey, you.
What?
I'm not being a hater. I ain't got no hater's heart. It's content. It takes a bandwidth. I'll give it that. Stephen worked part-time for the Belfast Telegraph, assistant audience editor, but he was also a man who knew what he wanted.
Hello YouTube viewers and random subscribers. Yes, it's true, I'm selling it all. Well, not all of it. Some of it. Most. A lot. Yes, so if you check the link in the description or even in the comment section, because why not, pop it in the comment section, there will be a link to my official eBay channel where you can bid and buy some of the stuff that I have in this collection room.
And that was being online, whether it was the YouTube channel, Patreon, whoa, unedited reactions, or his Instagram.
I know Patreon is how most people like doing. I just like, part of me wants to do Patreon, but I don't know really what I could do on Patreon that'd be different than here, so I've kind of like held back on it.
So it was on the evening of the 19th that Stephen found Natalie in her house. Natalie had been stabbed a number of times. She had defensive wounds on her, cuts, compression of the neck, and blunt force injuries to the head. She'd been killed sometime after she got home on the 18th of December. I mean, this case is already tragic enough, but one other aspect of this case to just add to the tragedy was that when Natalie was found, you know, and the door was opened, her dog, a German Shepherd, River, ran out of the house and was hit by a car. Thankfully, I mean, the dog would make a full recovery, but it's just one more thing. It's just, my God, a horrifying, you know, attack at Christmas. And you know, Natalie's parents knew she was pregnant, but nobody else did. Natalie was planning on telling, you know, the rest of her family and her friends on Christmas Day, a week later, but yeah.
Did Stephen know she was pregnant? I'm gonna assume yes. I would hope she told him. But then as I say that, telling him might have caused what happened here.
A targeted attack. She likely knew the killer. Police later released CCTV of a suspect entering Silverwood Green. It's a place one road in, one road out, and the footage showed a man entering the neighborhood at 8:52 p.m. and then leaving at 9:30 p.m. Two neighbors would say they heard screams at roughly 9 p.m. Now, police would have more CCTV unreleased, and it showed, well, see, the area Natalie lived in, it was kind of, you know, on the edge of town, and when you were walking into the area, the numbers on the houses, they were quite hard to see, especially at night. But the CCTV the police had showed the, you know, suspected killer booking it directly to Natalie's house, as in they knew where she lived, they knew where they were going, so it just added again to it being a targeted attack, that the killer had come for Natalie. This wasn't a burglary gone wrong or yada yada yada.
At a time when families would normally come together, it has impacted everybody so very profoundly. We as a community want to take the opportunity to offer our deepest condolences to Natalie's parents, her brothers, her family, and her friends.
Anybody out there listening to this here that has the slightest idea who this fella is, you have to come forward to the police. Don't show loyalty to this person. Well, you might be wrong, but the chances are you might be right, and this fella will be caught and taken off the streets, because we don't want this to happen to any other wee girl like it happened to our Natalie.
Now, Stephen McCullough, you know, he was actually arrested the very day Natalie was found on the 19th. You know the drill, right? You got boyfriend,
I'm gonna say, you always gotta look at the significant other. You always have to, and no matter what You always have to. Because if you're... They might not always be the person, but they can easily probably be looked at as a suspect.
Person who found her, nearly always them. But Stephen would later be released as, you know, he was often on YouTube. He was a YouTuber, and it was found that he was live streaming when the murder occurred. This stream.
Hey, and we're live. Hello, everyone. Yeah, a little bit out of the blue, this, isn't it? But, hang on, my levels are just a nightmare. There we go, bring that down a little bit. And that could be a little bit better framed, but, that's the fun of being live. Yes, so, hello to all in this glorious...
It's a live stream, so he couldn't have killed her. A clear and obvious alibi. In fact, the last text sent from Stephen to Natalie was, "Right, I'm off to stream the night away, wish me luck." Sent at 5:57 p.m.
An evening with your old pal, Stephen.
However, after being ruled out, Stephen would refuse to cooperate with the PSNI, the Northern Ireland police. He wouldn't help out. Like, for example, you know, the police wanted to know what was the house like after you arrived, but before EMTs and police did. And he would refuse to say. In follow-up interviews, he wouldn't say much really at all. But he did say, in one of them, he knew who had done this, naming a specific person. The police would recover the believed murder weapon, thought to have come from Natalie's own home, a kitchen knife, most likely. And of course, they repeatedly asked for anyone who knows anything to come forward. And fears began to spread that, while there was, you know, no believed threat to the wider community, that the killer may have fled Northern Ireland, either to Britain or to the Republic of Ireland. There were a couple of arrests like Stephen's, but again, like Stephen, they were released soon afterward. Crime Stoppers, they would offer £20,000 for any information leading to an arrest and conviction. What would ultimately occur, though, during the investigation is that the PSNI would be able to determine that the live stream Stephen McCullough said was his alibi. Look, I was live streaming last night. I was clearly at home on my computer live on YouTube. Well, digital boyos, clackety boyos, would be able to determine that that wasn't live. That was a pre-recorded video played as a live stream.
I'm gonna be honest, right? I'm just gonna say that I never knew that was a thing. I never knew you could have a pre-recorded video be played as a live stream. Now, I don't know, this might just be a thing. Well, I clearly don't know what the hell is going on. But I don't know how, I didn't know you could do that. Alvin, you probably can't now because of this guy, but I never knew you could do that in general.
It was pre-recorded on December 14th, 2022, 4 days before the murder. So Stephen had no alibi, only a pretend alibi, and Stephen McCullough was rearrested on January 31st. The live stream was titled Violent Night, of all things, goddamn.
A little bit better framed, but that's the fun of being live. Yes, so, hello to all in this glorious Sunday evening. Yeah, so I just thought, why not? I'm gonna do a live stream, because this day next week is Christmas. So what more could you want for Christmas other than an evening with your old pal Stephen?
The live stream seems kind of normal, you know, run-of-the-mill.
And of course I'm wearing my little Santa hat as well. Look at that. Flopping around. I thought that the headphones would muck with it, but they didn't. Good. Yeah, so what are we doing tonight?
But then you realize that this video was recorded, edited, and posted as if it was live solely for the purposes of giving Stephen McCullough an alibi for the alleged murder.
That is insane. This guy recorded 6 hours of footage. 6 hours of footage. So he could give himself an alibi to murder someone. Like, if you put any thought at that is fucking insanity.
Murder of Natalie McNally. He knew this would be playing and people would be watching while he was, allegedly, violently murdering his partner, his pregnant partner, Natalie McNally. How sick is that? As sick as his actions during the live stream. By the way, it's real shit streaming. It's like boring as all shit.
I'll see what you're doing, you bastard. Taking my fancy suit away. I'm gonna have to go to the clothes shop first, don't I?
So this stream, right, he's playing GTA Vice City, and the first indication it's fake is when he says he can't respond to comments live.
Well, because this streaming software is kind of up the left, it means I can't check the live chat, which is a real shame. So, by all means, talk amongst yourselves. I could use my phone to dip in every now and again and check it, but I've decided that I kind of hate live streams where people just sit and read comments and go, "Oh my god, yes, ask me questions, better." And also, if I go on my phone for too long, I'll end up just scrolling through TikTok. And
Also, one really eerie part of the stream is, well, during it live, you know, he would take frequent breaks, I guess deciding, you know, what he'd be doing next, and so he could edit it all together. And midway during the 6-hour stream, during one of the breaks, this pops up.
I'll tell you something. I made a real pig's ear of that. I just sat down and I pulled the controller and the headphones off the table, which hit the keypad.
See, remember, all of this is pre-recorded. All of this is edited. So the fact that "No Time to Die" pops up when he was allegedly killing, no words, he put that in there on purpose. The stream began at 6 p.m.-ish, or at least that's when he tweeted it would. This "No Time to Die" picture pops up midway through the stream, 3 hours in, so that would have been around 9 p.m., which is when CCTV showed a man walking into Natalie's house and a
This is a sick bastard that I even again, it's one of those things where I'm glad I watched this because the information he gives us, this is one sick bastard.
same time a neighbor heard a scream. He knew the exact time he would be killing her at, and had this pop up when he recorded it 4 days before as a dark joke.
That's why I like sticking to just doing crimes in a video game. Keeps things simple, mate. Yeah, that's physics. That's what would happen in the real world. Abso-fucking-nately. Abso-fucking-nately. Back into work on Wednesday, then off until New Year's. So it'll be enough time to rest, relax, spend time with my loved ones. I actually think it'll be a really fucking good Christmas this year. But yes, sorry, I'm getting horribly distracted. Yeah, so I think break. I think a little break. Just try and collect myself again and stop the eyes from stinging right the fuck out of my head.
The motive has never been released, just been speculated on. I mean, Stephen, he would have been the father of Natalie's unborn son. Maybe he just didn't want to be the father. But the prosecution have also said that in the days leading up to her death, Natalie had been in contact with a former boyfriend, and some of the contact was sexualized. Quote, "The prosecution suggests sexualized contact with this individual, and indeed others, over a period of time is the catalyst for what occurred to Ms. McNally. The prosecution suggests that these communications on Ms. McNally's phone do provide a motive." It was revealed that Stephen had unlocked Natalie's phone 9 times on the night before her death. We can only assume, constantly checking to see who she was talking to and who she was in contact with. There was a lot more though than the police simply discovering that his alibi was bullshit, that the stream, his whole cover was bullshit, something which he did later admit to. He would later tell the police, okay, you got me, I pre-recorded that and then played it as if it was live. He would say though the night of the murder he'd been in his own house in Lisburn, he'd been drinking, and then he simply passed out. End of. CCTV evidence would show Stephen on a bus in Lurgan, on a bus that would have been on its way to Natalie's house, and then police spoke to a taxi driver who was able to confirm he had picked up Stephen McCullough and brought him home. And brought him home to his exact address. When Stephen said he was, the taxi driver picked him up outside or near Natalie's home, Stephen was saying that he'd been home that a whole night.
Of murdering Natalie McNally. Wearing a navy blazer and pink top, he's just yards away from her father at a vigil held to remember her in Lurgan. Mr. McCullough's legal counsel wanted to know what...
Stephen is a sick bastard who is gonna rot in prison, I hope, for the rest of his life, because he committed a heinous crime that is premeditated as all hell. He deserves to rot in prison.
It's changed since he was publicly eliminated from the investigation as a suspect before Christmas. Well, initially it was believed that Mr. McCullough was engaging in a live stream on the night that Natalie died for his 37,000 followers, but it's since emerged that that stream was actually not live, rather pre-recorded. Natalie's family were in court as a detective explained how it's believed McCullough's alibi was staged. McCullough was looked at as a potential suspect again after a taxi driver said he had picked a man up outside a pub in Lurgan and brought him to an address in Lisburn on that night. It transpired that this was McCullough's address.
There was no activity on Stephen's phone from 6 p.m. to 11:16 p.m, which was 3 minutes after the taxi allegedly dropped him home. You know what else is crazy? Police would also determine that in the weeks after the murder of Natalie, Stephen would obviously be meeting up with the family quite a bit. One time, Stephen was over at the, McNally family home, and he left his phone there, on, recording. He then came back for his phone later on that day.
This that bitch recorded the family to see if he was a suspect. Send this man to prison, please.
Left his phone on in their home, recording their conversations, because he was trying to find out if they suspected him. If they suspected him of killing Natalie. This was after the family allowed Stephen to spend 20 minutes alone with Natalie's body on Christmas night, presuming he was just absolutely grief-stricken. The case, it's not gone to trial yet. The prosecution would say it would be some time, a number of months.
He hasn't gone on trial yet, bitch. I want this man prosecuted. I want him sent to prison for life.
Before it would be ready. So look forward to that one. I mean, I guess he thought he could just do whatever he wanted and he could get away with it. I mean, clearly on that live stream, it's as if he's literally taunting the references and the things he says when he knew this would be playing, when he would be allegedly killing her.
Absolutely.
If he is convicted of what he's accused of, well then that live stream might just be one of the most messed up things I've ever seen in my life. It is what the French would call a je ne sais quoi, which is French for I don't know what, because I don't know what to think about it other than it is absolutely sick. Imagine, recording that 4 days, recording that knowing what you're going to be doing when it's playing. Some sick shit. Well, looks like his content creator live streaming career is over just as soon as it was beginning, It's too bad. We lost a good one. Thank you so much for watching.
Ladies and gentlemen, let me know what you thought of this insane thing down in the comments below. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Thank you all for watching. I'll see y'all for the next one.